This little dog always makes things a little bit better. I think she thinks this camera's some sort of weapon. She's just going further away from it. So it's been a few weeks since the last time I did a vlog. I wanted to just catch up and fill you guys in on what's been happening here. So basically what's been happening is everything has been kicking off since the last video. Obviously we did a nice little trip away to Oman, but obviously on that weekend there started being UAVs, missiles and stuff heading into Dubai, which was obviously freaking us out a little bit. However, that seems to have become a bit of the new normality, with that being sort of a daily occurrence, and you know, that's been pretty strange. Dubai hasn't exactly become a war zone, but it's not exactly become you know, the friendly, safe place that we're all used to, although we seem to be all right so far. And obviously, as you see, I'm driving to go and do a running session, so obviously nothing can be that bad if we're going to do a running session. Obviously there's people out there who are actually stuck in actual war zones who are really struggling, but it has been a strange sort of time, and my desire to do any sort of vlogs or any sort of updates of training has just been extremely low. And to be honest, I'm giving myself a bit of leeway for that, because it's just not really been normal times. Basically what I've been trying to do is try to keep the sessions on for people throughout this time, just because I feel like everybody needs a break from the sort of, number one, they need to get out of the house, because when we've been having the missile alerts and the drone alerts, it's basically stay inside. Now that sort of freaked people out, and it's meant that we've probably spent more time in than ever. People have said that it's COVID 2.0 vibes. I wouldn't probably say it's quite been like that, because this has been sort of a real threat of going outside and you know, actually physically being harmed, and obviously that gets people a little more scared. And also the fact that people have been sort of getting injured, etc., with falling debris, just meant that, you know, the desire and want for people to go outside and do physical sessions has not really been there. We've been keeping them on where possible to make sure that people still get their exercise in. Obviously a lot of people are still training for Vienna Marathon, which will be important to do your running sessions. And what's important is obviously the human connection and actually meeting people and doing things to try and keep some sort of sense of normality amidst the chaos. Now, is that working? I hope so. You know, people are still going about their day-to-day lives, and more or less what people have said to me is, the fact is that their work are making them go in, and their job are making them do things day to day is probably not the number one thing they want to do. If we're being honest, for most people, work is not the be-all and end-all. They prefer doing things outside of work, but obviously they must do it to survive and get paid. I think it's important that you still do things for yourself. Now, obviously there has to be a sort of a weighing up in everyone's mind. Is that worth, you know, going outside with the risk and danger? But obviously everyone has to make their own decision. I'd probably still say that we've been around 50-60% of people, which has been pretty good to see, and obviously good for me to get out. You know, working on my own and working from home means that most of the time I'm isolated. So, you know, it's really good to actually just get out and speak to people. Obviously Sophie's been working from home, being a teacher. The teachers are working from home. Nice to have her at the house, and you know, that's been really good. So overall, that's the first little update. Now, first things first, for this day, we've got to go and do the tempo session. So what is the tempo session today? The tempo session today is a sort of 6-minute effort with a 3-minute harder effort, 30-second lift at the end. Now, for me, 3 weeks out from Vienna Marathon, with the level of fatigue that I'm feeling, I did a leg session yesterday. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to aim to do the full session at probably sub-threshold, which will probably be about marathon pace. Hopefully that will feel good. We will see how that goes. For everyone else, they're doing a mix of that session. Enough rambling for now, but I'll catch you down at the beach for the start of the tempo session. Right, guys, listen up. We've got, before I go into the session, we've got Mark here from the Grateful Mile. You've maybe seen his little gratitude lead the way sign. Mark's gonna just give us a little insight into what the Grateful Mile is. That was really good. Did 5 minutes on, 60 seconds off, 3 minutes on with a 30-second lift at the end. However, with 3 weeks approaching to the marathon, my knee not feeling 100%, I backed off and just did it all at marathon pace. Now, is that the best move? Maybe I should have just ran easy. Overall, felt pretty cruisy and was fairly happy with the efforts. So, can overall be pleased. So, I managed to average basically about 4:30. GPS was off, so I went off my foot pod thing again. But overall, all pretty good. Obviously, staying within that sort of tempo zone. So, most of the reps, my heart rate was pretty decent. It was actually mostly between 134, 166 BPM, which is pretty good. So yeah, great session. And we obviously had the guys from the Grateful Mile down here this morning, which was really nice. Sharing a bit of gratitude. I know that kind of thing probably sounds a bit cringy, and maybe a couple of years ago I probably would have laughed at myself for putting that kind of stuff out there. But to be honest, you'd be amazed what showing a little bit of gratitude can do. Makes you feel good, first of all, makes others feel good, and spreads a bit of good energy around. So that was pretty nice. This morning we also did our mobility with Karen, which, to be honest, my mobility seems to be getting worse the more I go into this marathon block, and it seems to just be tying up. However, it's done. So it's now 7 o'clock at night and not really checked in. Today has been a tough one. We did a great session this morning. Hot, cold. And then I just wasn't vibing with the rest of the day, and decided that I didn't want to do anything. I did one team meeting, some social media posting, probably too much of that, posted about 4 videos, and then I just went on my recovery run there. Was really trying to keep it low intensity, which, to be honest, I was doing a good few months ago, but sort of just made a realization that maybe I was biting off more than I could chew on the recovery run. So I thought, right, stick to sort of maximum 75% max heart rate. Turns out that means I will run very slow. Turns out that means I'll be very bored. Turns out that means the run felt super shit, and it was just a long one. To be honest, 10k, I think it was like an hour and 5 minutes or something, and was just overall so bored. And just, yeah, another one in the bank though. Just can't wait to go to bed, to be honest. We've got the old goat here, the rice cooker. You just can't beat this. And check this. That's slow cooked Chinese chicken. Actually, looking at that in there, it does not look appealing at all.